Aliya and Six have been looking for the roboticist, Sheniki Remba, sent by Professor Miyari to uncover the cause of the fall of Iox, which she believes is soon to return. But ancient memories found inside Six led Remba to a different discovery, an ancient observatory, the Vault, which Remba believed could save the Nebula from darkness. Perhaps other ancient sites, like the moon where the ancient god statues were sculpted, or the mysterious Withering Palace, will yield other clues. Meanwhile, Aliya has found something else, a crude map painted by the exiled lost Emperor of Iox and pointing to an unknown moon. Will it explain what brought Remba to the Cyclones? I do not know, but hello everyone, I am the plane shifter fading to the universe of Heaven's Vault. This is a spoiler, but yes, I'm on this moon. I kind of have forgotten before. Been a week since I played. Welcome to the holidays. This is an unforgiving place. Were there any other surfaces at all? None. This moon appears most rugged. There must have been something important about this place. Something that made this thing worth building. I don't see a way up there. Why would you want to climb up there, mistress? Can you not see him from where you stand? Can you not see him from where you stand? I am an archaeologist. If there's a god here, I want to find out what it thinks it's doing. But why must we humans insist on standing on things to understand them? Perhaps this path leads around to the statue. Up here, Six, and don't complain. What is the path?
The path ended at the edge of an enormous crater, where a mountain had been plucked out like a rotten tooth, and something had been built across the wound.
What are we looking at? I have no idea, mistress. Can you scan it, Six? Scan it? Scan for what, mistress? It is a hole. I'm adjusting my microphone. Sorry about that. It's clearly not just a hole. Scan it for everything. Here is something, mistress, which may or may not be interesting. The tiles lining its surface are a metallic pottery composite. A what composite? Metallic pottery. Heat resistant, reflective, conductive. Where did he even get enough metal for this crater? Don't people sift strings for iron dust? There are richer seams on some older moons, I believe, mistress. But there does appear to be a considerable amount of metal here. Let's go check the statue first, like we did before. And because it's close to us. Here's a way up. I cannot climb that, mistress, as you are no doubt aware. There are markings here. Let's see if we can find out who you are. This one is a fractured piece from an even longer phrase. Serpent's Eye. That's complete. The Serpent's Eye. What's a Serpent's Eye? Is it something here? Is that what they call this place? No clues as to which god this was, though. That is not a serpent. People left offerings at the feet of the god. One got stuck in the crack between the stones. Someone came to this miserable moon. For a minute they thought it might be a shard of iolite. But it's not. A Ninked river shard. I think it dates from the age of sail? To bless their journey, perhaps? Or to help the god to find its way? Some kind of sailor god, are you? Looks like there's some writing inside the gap between the three flows. This one is a faded fragment for an even longer phrase. Temple of... No. Temple at... And... I think it must be right. That's when Temple at Wind's End. I think that's right. This comes from the same source as the dagger and the scratched up cup I found earlier, I think. We've got a lot of leads on the Age of Sail site now. This will make it easier to locate. Let's do another circle before we go back down. Mistress, I hope you satisfied your desire to be high up. I found something up there, 6. Just as I thought I might. A shard. Gods are offering places. Very good, mistress. There's a structure over there. With a mast. For a flag? I suspect it's functional, mistress. intended perhaps for some kind of beacon. There must be some way to reach it. I believe the rock promontory ahead is blocking the path, mistress. Either the structure below is built around it, or else the surface has subsided somewhat over the years. Subsidence would suggest water in the soil, wouldn't it? It would. Which I find implausible. Implausible now, but before this place was dry. Except, wait, mistress. What is it? I have found something. Gravity, mistress. To me. What is that meant to mean? The gravity with the crater is lower than the gravity outside it. Are you saying you can see gravity? Indeed, mistress. After a fashion. I wonder why you can see gravity. Someone must have made you that way. Perhaps. Although my eyes can see most flows of momentum, mistress. Useful when flying, I suppose. Seeing gravity. Useful, certainly. But the gravity of the nebula is also quite beautiful. Interesting. How can the gravity be low? Is this dish some kind of machine? Some kind of, I don't know, lens? This dish is just as it appears, mistress, a curved tiled floor. But perhaps the moon's density itself is low. My voice is weird today again. What is this moon made of? Don't tell me it's hollow. I will do a scan. Mistress, the results of my scan are most surprising. Go on. The moon is partially hollowed. There is a chamber below ground. It would seem the region of diminished gravity is centered here. You're saying the gravity effect is artificial. Mistress, how can gravity be localized? Is that possible? It would appear so. Your results must be wrong. The rocks must be magnetic or something. They're throwing you off. Perhaps, mistress, I admit I am doubting what I see. Can you locate the source of the gravity? Indeed, the force lines are quite visible. The effect is strongest in the center. I'll try jumping inside this time. Please, mistress. The gap's too narrow and there is nothing there. I'm just looking around. You have eyes for that purpose, mistress. So what was this place? Some kind of transmitter? Radiation waves do not need to escape gravity, mistress. Maybe I should have just said landing pad. So it looks like a way down. Catch me if I fall, 6. What an idiotic remark.
The metal ledge halfway down was wide enough for walking. Wide enough for robots too.
There is something in the center, at the center. I want to explore the cabin before. A cover? It looks like it has handles. A covered well? Ooh. But there is no way I'd keep my balance on the slope if I tried to climb down. And there are some big holes to go sliding into. Unless you can find a section that hasn't shattered. But why would an observatory be built around a well? I detect no moisture on this moon, mistress. This place has never had natural water. Whatever at the heart of this crater, it's no well. The gravity effect is technological, mistress. Then this place is an important find. You are right. Depending on how the gravity can go, or how low the gravity can go, a column of low gravity could allow ships to launch without an upheaver. Perhaps this crater was a landing bay. There's writing around the rim. Is it the same thing as before? I can't remember. I don't think so. There's only several words. Welcome. Land here and be welcome. Land to my dictionary now. Oh yeah. Land here and be welcome. Done. A landing bay, just as we thought. wonder what I'm gonna find down there. But that's kind of a point of no return. And this game has a lot of points of no return.
The scale of the place was mind-boggling. It must have been built by giants for giants.
By the wind. The air is so thin here. Take your time to recover, mistress. Evidently, it's clear this place was intended for robot workers. Hey, it's a gecko. Catch the gecko. Hello, MC2M. I'm on this place. There's a gecko here. Either it's here because this time I bought the gecko on the on the market moon, or I never noticed it the first time I was here. I saw the gecko, it's always there. Okay. There is definitely something inside here. Equipment? It's hard to make out. This looks like a door. Only it won't open. Pry the door with the daggers. There isn't enough gap to get the dagger through. Come on, Steve. Can you batter it down, 6? No, mistress. I could use the button, however. The locking mechanism is internal and magnetic. Let's get trapped inside. There. How did you know how to do that? To my senses, it was a handle, mistress. Its mechanism was quite apparent. Amadu's observatory. Right? Corridors of machines. That's what Amadu said.
A dark, cramped space.
Makes sense.
Stuffed with metal and pipes and wires. It was like I'd turned into an ant and was now crawling around inside the robot.
Someone oversaw the site from here. But oversaw what? It can have been a good job. It's uncomfortable. Cramped. But robots do not care. This place was clearly abandoned. No disaster, no destruction. Whatever it once was, it became obsolete. There's something written here. There's a lot written here. This one is a broken piece from an even longer phrase. Whew. I think I saw masters here. By order of masters. That's watch. Where is this symbol? There. This one has a lot of symbols, but ensure it read as order. Another long one, but I'm confident it says masters. By order of the masters, we watch the darkness. Ooh. By the stars. That was a long one. A master? And darkness? But it has the symbols for robot in it, I think. Were robots in charge here then? Yeah. We kind of figured out that there were robots that were in charge, and there are robots that were not in charge. And it's complicated, and I do not understand the whole mechanism. Some kind of control panel. Did they have children working here? Based on its position just under the window, this must control something out there. But I can't see how to use it. 6, can you operate this? That one controls the temperature of the floor, mistress. This one, however, appears more interesting. What does it do? What are we waiting for? Nothing, mistress. There. I have already activated the panel, but I see no change. Maybe the power's gone. This door seems stuck. I can get my fingers in, but I won't budge. The power to that section appears to have failed. Can you divert more power that way? I am not some kind of plumber, mistress. No, you're not supposed to be a plumber. You're supposed to be an electrician. Let's see what's up here. A trap! What was that noise? I believe it was the lower door resealing itself, mistress. But you can open it again, can't you? I should think so, mistress. Does this one work? I do not believe so, mistress. It seems a lot of the wiring here has been rendered poorly decorative by time. Good thing that the control downstairs still works, or we'd be stuck in here. Well, I have news for you. It does still work, doesn't it? Statistically, mistress, it will. Look at it. It's beautiful. Can you imagine ships coming to rest here? Like flies on a flower? I'm interested in this. Some kind of tripod. There was something here once. An instrument of some kind. This place is meant to be an observatory after all. I've seen this kind of tripod before. It's the same as the one on Janik's moon. On the roof of the Hermitage near the Mercy. And go to look at the center of the crater? Or else tilt it up to the sky. Impossible to say for sure. No inscriptions on this thing? I think there was an inscription on the wall. Something painted. This one is a broken fragment from an even longer phrase. We ethical good together. We do ethical. This doesn't make much sense. Together. Let me remove this. No. There we go. I'm sure my translation for together is correct now. We prosper together. It's good. It's not prayer because it doesn't have the holy symbol. This is the personal symbol. We prosper together is what makes more sense. Those who prosper together work. Ramps. Robot operated controls. This site wasn't managed by humans at all. This one is not empty. A telescope? The ladies in grey on Elboret had a telescope on the roof. They encouraged us to look at Iox through it and dream. So this place is an observatory after all. Let's see now. Oh! There's no eyepiece. What's the use of that? Is this it? The observatory that Remba wanted me to find? Evidently it is possible, mistress. But there is nothing here. This looks like it comes free. It would seem to be described, mistress. I can hardly see the glyphs, they're so small. This one is a fractured fragment from an even longer phrase. Whew, here we go. Oh boy, point. Open doesn't make sense because of the two dots. Point the way makes sense. No, doesn't make sense because of the two dots. Do you have anything that has two dots? You. Let me point the way. That disappears. Okay. It's a long one, but I'm confident it says let. That's a long word for let. Let me point the way. Which makes sense for this thing. I've got a good feeling about that. What do you make of the telescope 6? Indeed, most interesting. We should take it to Ori. She'd be able to tell us what it is. It is a recording device, mistress. There is a Rebesque foil at its apex. Can you read it back? No, mistress. I have a foil inside me, but there is no common language. But I can guess. Let's hear it. If this device is a telescope, perhaps it has been recording the movements of the sky. Was the ruin near Myers an observatory too? The locations are interesting, mistress. Separated but aligned. They suggest a triangulation. We know Remba found a telescope on the crashed ship. Another on the ruin near Maersi. We found one more. Triangulation of something. The data is thin. What would help? More telescope, mistress. A triangulation requires 3 or more points. If we assume that the scope aboard the ship was bound for or taken from somewhere near Elbor F. Wait, mistress. Some kind of lantern. Definitely not a flagpole. There is no ropes and no fittings for any ropes. Evidently it is a signal mast. A beacon for sending something somewhere. Iox has similar one for sending messages. Where does the mast send to 6? Wait, mistress. Yes, I believe I can deduce that, but it is hardly accurate enough to pinpoint a target. No follow-up on the... So, what was this place observing? The rivers. Nothing else seems plausible to me, mistress. No follow-up on the triangulation as well. I hope this isn't Rainbow's observatory. If it is, then I'm definitively missing something. There's nothing here. Let's jump inside the crater. After a few drama with a door. Open the door, 6. Mistress. Open the door, 6. It would seem the power to this control is not entirely functional. Presumably the system has not been used or maintained in some time. Are you saying we're trapped in here? After a fashion. You can totally go past those windows. Unless they have glass. Break the glass. So Hopper's out of here. I am afraid the line of sight required is not available. We can head for the roof. An excellent idea, mistress. Please wait here. Wait where you are. I will return momentarily. The game doesn't let me go up. Six. Mistress. That was impressive, 6. Thank you, mistress. It appeared to solve the problem. Escape. I have fixed the lock, mistress. It will not close again. Good, but I'm not sure I need to go back inside. I'm gonna jump in a hole, mistress. Yes, 6. I have a result, mistress. Have you finished the calculation? The triangulation of the telescope, mistress, that Ramba found. Assuming they were recording devices transmitting data to each other and to a central source. Assuming they were positioning deliberately to cover a particular sector of the nebula from many angles, while maintaining a line of sight to that central source. Mistress, I believe I have found Ramba's observatory. Evidently it's far further than we have ever been. How far is this observatory, 6? Significantly further than the air tanks of the Nightingale would allow, mistress. Yeah, it's a Heaven's Vault. I have it marked on the map already. So what was this place? I suppose it's the right shape to be the Serpent's Eye. We know it was run by robots. Some kind of recording station. Observing the rivers. The crater itself is most likely a dock. A place for ships to land. The low gravity in the crater helped ships to take off from here. If if this is Amadu's observatory, he's going to be disappointed. There's nothing here worth selling. We have found 2 interesting artifacts here, the chart and the telescope device. Also, we have pinpointed 1 new location of interest, Rainbow's Lost Observatory. I'd like to activate the hopper now, mistress. I want to go down to the center of the craters first. No complaining? 6? The section of the slope looks intact. No gaps between here and the lower level. I could slide until we reach the bottom, mistress. There is a sizable hole. Also railings. Well then, I'll float down. You can wait here. I will follow on my threads. Here goes. By the goddess! Made it.
The robot was right. I felt as light as a feather.
Like a child. I was walking around to see if I find something, but the text probably stopped me if I were to find anything. Alright. Gravity really is low. I feel like a child again. A hatch. The pupil of the serpent's eye. 6, it's warm. Mistress, please. It's not zapping me, 6. Not yet, mistress. But what is it? If it's definitively not a wall, it's clearly the focus of this whole place. But what is it for? I'm trying to find inscriptions around here. Okay, there isn't one. Let's pull the cover. Let's see if I can. Bonk. Evidently, it's almost certainly a low gravity machine. The gravitational forces are weakest here. I can Sliset him. Pointed symbols. Oh, I could have remarked it. Look at the back of the cover now. Yeah. There's a few words in this one. Towards where waters meet. This one has a lot of symbols, but I think it must say meet. Towards where the waters meet. Finished. Water rising from below ground. The This hatch couldn't have contained an upheaver, could it? Evidently it's conceivable, mistress. If this crater really had an upriver under that hatch. 6, but that raises so many questions. Where has the river gone? Was it artificial? Can you make a river? Divert one? How far down do you think it goes, 6? I could not say, mistress. All the way to the core, perhaps? What core there is? Evidently it's very hard to measure. Sliset. Well, that takes care of your core. Now you stay there like a good dog. Here goes. Bless the goddess! I bounced off it! Mistress, how did you? Mistress, are you intact? 6, I flew! I flew! You are lucky you did not fly off into space, mistress. By all the wakened waters! This is anti-gravity, not just low gravity. It seems clear. This hatch was the focus of an ancient upriver. Locus of a depleted now perhaps, but still active. You did not fly, mistress. You sailed. If there was an upheaver here, then what was the hatch for? Why was it closed? Fascinating, mistress. Closing off a river. What would that even mean, 6? To close off a river. A river is water and force line. The force line would remain. Without the water, it could not be sailed. Still, the water would have to go somewhere. Perhaps the crater was flooded. I do not think the river was controlled in order to harvest moss, mistress. But perhaps the water was used elsewhere. Another river, perhaps. Did our ancestors really have the power to control the shape of the Nebula, 6? That's incredible. But how does such a power get lost? Robots, mistress. This was clearly operated by robots. The process of controlling the rivers automated until the process was forgotten. Then the robots removed, the process was lost. If there was an uphill here, does that mean there's water after all? Perhaps there is a wellspring directly below the opening, mistress. The water was directed into the river rather than saturating this moon. Can you shine a light down there? After a fashion, mistress. Crystals. It's lined with iolite crystals. Like the one Remba left on Mersey. The same as the crystals on board the crashed ship Remba dug up. Indeed, mistress. So the crystals here, they alter gravity, and they still work. Incredible. The boat that Remba found 6. Did it use the crystals to help it sail? An excellent theory, mistress. Certainly it would require help to rise and land. Let's see where this goes. Do not move, mistress. If you attempt to annihilate yourself by entering a vertical drop, I will hopper you immediately. And if you are falling, I might only get half of you. Sliset. This is very useful. I said I'm going inside, and I'm going inside. Now, is they there like a good dog? No, what? Why? Maybe I can help explain these crystals. The crystal is not mechanical, mistress. And I would advise caution. Caution? Why? It seems to me that a crystal capable of storing a gravity manipulating force is potentially a seismic discovered with complex ramifications. It may not be something you wish to give to Oroi. You mean gravity crystals are something I shouldn't give to Elboref? You're worried about what? That they use them to drive ships through the dead space? And approach Iox without coming in via the river gates? I have no concerns, mistress. I am a robot after all. But I should think Professor Miari might. Is it possible to alter gravity itself? The way you said. Indeed it is, mistress. In fact, it is necessary. When you said necessary, what did you mean by that? The strength of gravity between two objects is a known quantity, mistress. Evidently, it is based on the separation and the masses of those objects. But most moons in the nebula are in thin sheets of rock. They do not have enough mass to exert the gravity that they do. Something within the rock must therefore increase gravity. But momentum cannot be simply created. Therefore, an increased gravity in one location must be countered by a lessening elsewhere. The crystals, including the ones Remba found in the hatch of that buried ship, they do not reduce gravity, mistress. Rather, they have been induced to contain an absence of it. So the gravity in the crystals were transferred to the rock and the moons or something around those lines. Ugh. My throat is not cooperating with me again. Probably the dry weather. Mistress, I do not believe the iolite in the crater here is natural. I believe the crystals have been set in place. There is no natural iolite on this moon? No, mistress. It has been brought here at some complexity to be charged with force from the upriver. Ship here came here to collect crystals from the hatch, maybe. To use them to flick themselves forwards. Perhaps the crystals don't create the upriver. Perhaps the upriver charges the crystals. It is very hard to say anything for certain, mistress. Well, I can't jump inside a second time, which is unfortunate. The ship near Alborag must have been carrying crystals from here. Which proves this was some kind of dock. Oop. The dock was large and the mine below was small. One big ship could have cleared it out. We can infer they were distributing crystals to multiple ships. There is nothing more here. Have we learned anything new? It's likely this is the Serpent's Eye. This was some kind of charging point for storing gravity effects inside the iolite. So the Serpent's Eye was a port, a place where large ships came to restock, run by robots, and later used it for observations of the sky. Shall I try the hopper one more time, mistress? Let's get out of here. We've explored everything we could. Be ready, mistress. And so we left the surface of the Serpent's Eye docking crater. With newfound knowledge, the location of the observatory Rainbow was looking for. Can I solve any inscriptions? Yes. The scimitar. We are all parted in the end. Copper stylus. Right. Truth. Right only truth. Of one only, yeah. Worn bone pen. I write the laws of the Emperor. Bone pen. I declare this to be truth. In Boston on the Iox Sundial, the empire will not be divided. Except it was. Etched on the shrine, emperors never die. And found on a purple robe, all pilgrims together. Okay. As a Withering Palace, there's a lot of stuff here that I still need to find. Side from the mural. Empire side. Age of Sail. The Heaven's Vault. Okay. So that was the Serpent's Eye. Some kind of landing bay for ships. Built above a crystal focus to make takeoff easier. Propellant-based ships. 6. Capable of exploring dead sectors. The Nebula may be far larger than we first thought. The Iolite shard. Definitely the same crystal as inside the hatch in the metal crater. Must have been useful somehow for making the upriver. Okay, I'm going to... Ooh, a power cell. Oh, the telescope device from the roof of the Serpent's Eye crater. Still don't really understand what this thing is. Some kind of robot contraption for robots. A power cell. The robot power cell Amadou gave me. Should I go back? It is disgusting. Like keeping a desiccated heart on your desk. Can I go to Renaki? I want to talk to Amadou. I will prepare the shocks, my stress. I can go to Renaki. Oh. Very interesting. I went to a restaurant called La Cantina Brazil. Cantina is... How can I translate cantina? The food was good and the staff was nice. Cantina is one of those words that fell out of use, so I do not know what it means. I kind of have an idea. It's kind of... I know it has to do with food, but that's about it. Should I go first to Elboret and show the telescope to Oroi or Churenaki first? In French you would say canteen or refractory. Yeah, canteen is like a kitchen, like like a mess hall. Yeah, I think mess hall is a good translation for cantina. Because if I remember correctly, it's also connected to something that doesn't need necessarily to be involving food. Okay. I'm going to elbow that and show the telescope to Oroi. Then I'm gonna go to Renaki and talk to Janiki. No, talk to Amadou. The withering place is a place that I want to find. Alright. Elbow F. That's how it makes sense. Seriously, you stayed on this low water flow for like less than a second. What are you talking about? Did the ancients make the nebula using controlled uprivers? Could we change it for ourselves? I do not know, mistress. I'm gonna refill my water while they do the thing. They found nothing? That's fine. Ooh, I'm going the wrong way now. Whoa, that was a Daredevil movement there. I cut through an area without water. I just go to an easy one. It's not like it matters much the pathways we take. The game will show ruins when it feels like it. This is a great song to sleep to. Have I arrived? Yeah. Do we have to come here again? Stop complaining, 6. I have ensured we have no weapons with us once more, mistress. Elboreth, the Moon of Thieves. What language is that, mistress? It's a local patois. El Globe. Rat to Ren, take. Globe takers. Elboreth. The music here makes me feel like I'm gonna get stabbed in the back. You look tired. Are you sleeping at night? Of course. The tax collectors from Iox can't pick my pocket if I don't sleep. Is that all? Don't pry, Aliya. Okay. I work hard, Aliya, as do we all. Enjoy. I'm not drinking today. As you wish. This place seems quiet. What do you have to do? I have something for you. I'd guess it was a metal lamp. I would guess it dates from at least the earliest Empire period. And there's a carved message on the glass. just don't. Metal lamp, don't forget. I can add my translation for forget to my dictionary now. Do not forget. Short and sweet. Do not forget. I think this comes from the same site as the axe and the knife I found here before. People must have often frequented both of these two sites. This should make the pre-Empire site easier to find. You don't want to keep it? I don't know what it is worth, I'm sure. But if you keep buying drinks here, well, that I can put a number to. Nice. Got a thing. See you around, Timur. Don't be a stranger. We have one new artifact to consider. Time to go, mistress. I want to pay a visit to Tapi. Well, I do, but Oroi first. As you wish, mistress. I don't think I have ever seen this angle. Does much grow here? It seems unlikely, and yet there are so many people. Barely anything. We rely on Iox like everyone else. Set Boyak Refar. Kibenya. Yeni Hoa Salat Kataliti. I'll never get used to that. Yes. How straight today. Bristling. But now I had something. Go booze at someone else. I can't make they swear at each other. I want to learn more ancient. We're the trading people one day And one day. Slaves always overthrow their masters in the end. They never stop trying. There's only one fact that matters. Nothing stays the same, sex. Nothing.
From the back room, I heard a curse.
Aliya, I thought it was you. The bit of crystal you gave me, I can see why you gave it to me. Where did you find it? It was dug up from a crashed ship on a moon near here. So it's old. That explains a few things. You see, the crystal, it has a certain kind of charge to it. It's running out, but not gone yet. Let me guess. It makes things around it float. There's less gravity in the crystal than there should be. It's like picking up a block of ice. If I find more, can I make the nightingale faster? I don't know. Maybe. I'll take care of this now. We found more. If you find any more, you know where I am. Look at this thing. I found it way out on a moon covered in ancient panels. It's beautiful. Some kind of telescope set up to collect something. It's probably packed with information. If only you could read it. I think there used to be lots of these connected together somehow, triangulating something. The position of the scopes might tell you something. The scope itself won't, but still it's a beautiful piece. I hope you might look into it further. I don't know what I'd do. Take it to pieces, most likely. The ancients were recording something. Something's happening out there. A darkness is coming. It won't do any good. You can barely handle what's happening here, Aliya. I found a site that is too far from the rivers to reach. Further than anywhere I've been. of the rivers. There is a whole vast space between the rivers. And it's not as empty as it should be. But without the rivers there is no air to breathe, and the nightingale can only hold so much. Sounds like you need a river then. Even if you could get me some of those gravity crystals, that might get you there faster, but there and back before you suffocate? Probably not. I'm sure people traveled there in the past. I found things made there that made it into the Nebula. Well, maybe they had really big ships. Big enough to grow plants on. I don't know. I thought you could make me some air tanks. I could fit 10 on the ships. How many? How much air? Enough for a day? For 2 days? How are you going to cross empty space anyway? Rivers don't come and go because you ask them to. So you can think of anything? What even is a river? You've sailed more than me. Where do they come from? Where do they start? Do you know? Some moons have up rivers. The rivers just come out of them. How does that work? Oh, they have well springs. The water is drawn off into space. The rivers flows out of the well springs. Well then, you just need to make a wellspring. Maybe the water goddess will help you out? You think I could do that? No, well, no. By the rivers and dirt, what's wrong with you? You can't make a river any more than you can flip Albaref into its back. And if you could, you couldn't tell it which way to flow. But what if there was a river before? A new river might follow the same course. It might, if it starts from the same place. But the rivers don't just vanish and they don't just appear. I'm sorry about your distant star, Al. But maybe, just maybe, you're stuck down here with the rest of us for once. You told me there was a thing I could put in my arm to open the Albaref gate. What was that about? Or a best foil? Nothing much, just enough for the gate to recognize you. How's the shopping working out? Still slow. See you when I see you, Aliya Elasra. Okay. Not much help. We're gonna go to Renaki and then make a stop back at Iox. There is still one library I haven't found on the map. Tapi. The tripod we found on the Serpent Side crater was just like the one I found on the Hermitage on the moon near Myersea. But the crater site was old. Much older than the Empire. Assuming all those tripods are set up at the same time. What now? Sold anything yet? Someone who always needs someone. I can wait. I can afford to wait after all. If the Iolite aboard Rainbow's buried ship was carried in the Iolite moon Rainbow found, I think they must have been carrying there long before we thought. This should disconnect it. Set up. No. What now? Leave me alone. Insult me! You're too. We're too nice to each other. Wait. Did the ship scare crystals to affect their local gravity? 6. Did they use them to sail? Evidently, it is entirely possible, Mistress. I've really got to show this stuff to Oroy. Why didn't you then? Okay, I'll go back to Oroy once I speak to Tapi. I'm just not gonna give them any crystals. Listen, Tapi. How's business? It never booms. Somehow we all get by. I found a few items you might be interested in. Oh yes? I see something else. This is a small book bound in wood dating from the Holy Empire. Fair, if not exemplary. Oh well, I can most likely shift it onto someone. I have something of a similar period, I think. Yes, this is it. A leather-bound book covering minute calculations. Did I give it to you? Lives in the cover. End of a longer line, okay? This could be Nebula. Ooh, Nebula was never told? No, it's a longer word. in only. Okay. I'm convincing my translation for lived is right now. And only must be right too. Nice. Nebula was never meant. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes, does feels like meant. Because to speak a thing. Nebula was never meant to believe in only sailed. Ooh, this is a phrase. Nebula was never meant to be lived in, only sailed. I guess that this comes from the same place as the pipe I found here earlier. Got a lot of information on the moon depicted in the Emperor's Moral now. This should make the site easier to find. So you've seen it. The book for your small book putting wood. Agree to trade. You have a deal. What a fine piece. I've picked up a few more items you might be interested in. Oh yes. Lamp on a pre-empire. A butter bell made on the side of the mural. Shark made of an age of sail, sir. Nice enough. Ah well, I should be able to do a little distance with that. I have something of a similar period, I think. Here we are. A beautifully crafted figurine carved from wood. And there's an inscription. Did you just get that stuff I gave you and change descriptions? This one's a broken piece from an even longer phrase. I don't think he can read, let alone write ancient. Your voice remains? Boy! I totally translated this. Your voice remains. From the same place as the dagger I found here before. This will make the age of sail site easier to find. Okay. So the merchandise agree to trade. What you give me will keep me in business for a week. If there's more, let me look another time when my eyes have recovered. Okay. See you later, Tappy. May your footsteps fall soundly, Aliya. My voice is really going today. Shall we leave now, mistress? Soon, not yet. Where is the path to Orois? Mistress, you should know I am most suspicious of your arrangement with Tappy. You keep watching, Six. You're bound to see him taking something one of these days. Good fate to you. Yes. Why did you stop? How are the crops? The goddess keeps staying strong, thank you. You're well. Insult me! What now? Oh, get away from me, you moth. The Robot Empire 6. If we assume for a moment that there was one, it didn't survive. At some point it collapsed and the robots disappeared. The Steel Empire ended and the Ioxian Empire began. As for the robots were wiped and buried on Iox. I shouldn't bother Ori anymore. Ah, come on. Yeah. So, I did wish to. A few robots must have been kept around by the emperors. In places like the ones we've seen where they couldn't do any harm. So yeah, my throat is bad today and I do not know why. So what happened to the robots after the collapse of the Steel Empire? The robots were wrapped and buried on Iox. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop earlier today. Have I ever explored this place here? No. Let's remark. It must have been the Empress who ordered the erasure of the ancient script. From books, from monuments, tore down all the old statues, eradicated the old gods, all because the old Tom could control the robots. Ancient was dangerous, so it was eradicated, except in a few closely guarded places. This is getting interesting. But no one noticed that the people on Nebula spoke a formal ancient amongst themselves. Maybe their accent was so different no one even realized. And a few words survived. Enough for Remba to stumble on one. Can we keep thinking about this stuff? Yeah. Perhaps there was a telescope device in the stand on the roof of the room near my arse. Perhaps Janik took it. That might imply our telescopes contain extractable data. That's the heart of the Citadel. That's what the people call it anyway. But they don't think anyone's been inside it in centuries. How would one even reach it? We all tried to climb it up there as children. One boy got high enough that when he fell he broke his leg. I don't think anyone's ever made it to the top. What do people say is inside, mistress? They say the building contains an eagle. When Nebula finally crumbles, the eagle will be released. And it will tear the Nebula apart. I think eagles are the equivalent to dragons in this world. There's even mention of them breathing fire. No more musings about the ancient empire? Okay. I'm gonna check my instructions if I can solve anything. Yes, I can. Oop. In the copper stylus. Write only truth. Write only the truth. So, yeah, my throat is kind of giving up today, so I'm gonna stop right here before I force it even further. I want to go to Renaki and give the news to the guy. Maybe I can talk to his daughter, and she will reveal this site right here, which is the library without air. Then there's this site from the mural, which I do not remember what it is. I think this is the quarry. And this is the market where I find the boy, or maybe this is, don't remember now. But yeah, I remember there's something here that I need to find. So yeah, that's the plan for Monday. So next Saturday at 3 p.m. I'll be playing more Shanti, Half Genie Hero. Nothing on Sunday because it's New Year's Eve. First day of the year, I don't think that's the kind of holiday that people really observe that much. If it is a holiday, other places than here. So yeah, I'll be streaming more Heaven's Vault next Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Jump till 3. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I am the Plane Shifter, and I am phasing out. Bye.